Hey all, welcome back to my channel. I just had my first shadowing experience as a medical student. So excited, it was amazing. So I just wanted to hop on here and tell you guys a little bit about it. So if you have not seen my last video, make sure to check it out. I am officially settled in New York City and in my first year of medical school. So check out that video just to see a little bit about my transition, what the last couple of months have looked like for me. And today we're just gonna dive into a little bit more about my shadowing experience. I talked about in the last video how shadowing opportunities are just so abundant in medical school. Like, you don't even have to try. They're always sending out opportunities. We've had opportunities to shadow neurology, pediatrics, emergency medicine. Like, those are just like easy signups, and then you can reach out to, pretty much anybody, and if you're interested in, they'll make sure to get you in either with them or like a resident or just someone in that specialty. So that's super awesome. So I saw that they added some pediatric opportunities, and I saw that there was pediatric subspecialty of nutrition, weight management, kind of like obesity prevention, things like that. And that literally caught my eye so fast because growing up, I was involved in 4-H, it's a youth development organization. And with 4-H, really just, I did the healthy lifestyles project. So it was like cooking competitions, but it was like healthy cooking competitions. And so we did a lot with my pyramid, now my plate, like given a dish, like how can you make it a balanced meal? And then also, having my background in public health and then working with a research project looking at rural areas with high levels of obesity, that was just everything that I'm interested in, and everything, kind of that really connects to my background, but like also totally different because we're in New York City, where it's not like the South where I'm from, where there's like food deserts and things like that, as per the physician I shadowed. It was really great. I only saw like one patient encounter, but what I love is like the patients are able to, see the physician, and they also go see a nutritionist. So it's like very integrated. It's very easy for the patient to like go see the physician and then the nutritionist, like, without having to like go to 2 different places or come on 2 different days. So I like that they align those appointments. Yeah, but I saw just like, it was a follow-up for bariatric surgery. And so I was just able to see like what bariatric surgery, because I'm very familiar that like I know people that have had bariatric surgery, but like what that looks like in adolescents, in children, and also just considering a lot of like the other social determinants of health, like school and navigating that, like, I think it's very interesting just like seeing that dynamic, and also like how it can affect, like some of those milestones. And so it was like really awesome. I was so glad that I was able to see that. And also the visit was a mix of like English and Spanish, so that was very, very exciting. If you guys don't know, I have been in a medical Spanish class that has been so fun. So it's a 10-week course through my medical school. So in the evenings, once a week, I have medical Spanish class, and so it's just like an hour-long class where I'm in the intermediate course, so we're reviewing a little bit of grammar, and then we're also learning just a lot of like medical terminology. So how to do a patient history, what are the different specialties, what are the common complaints, and then we also do OSCEs. So I don't know what OSCE actually stands for, but I'll put it up there. But it's basically like a standardized encounter with a standardized patient, and so it's basically like to simulate and practice what it would be like in real life. And so as a part of our medical school curriculum, you do OSCEs, like pretty much everywhere does that, I'm sure. But it's a unique opportunity that we get to do OSCEs in Spanish. And so it's usually just like older students that have taken the Spanish class, or people that are fluent in Spanish will act as our standardized patients. And so I've done that once. I actually have another one next week. And so it was interesting to sit through the entire like hour-long encounter. And actually they were switching between like English and Spanish, and there was like 2 words that I didn't understand, but like aside from that, I was able to like pick up on everything. So that was super exciting, just because like you guys know, one of the things I want to do is become fluent in Spanish, so that way I can communicate directly with my patients that are Spanish speaking. And I just think it would be so awesome. And so that was very rewarding to actually see an interaction and realize that I was able to like pick up on everything. Definitely want to put myself out there more, be able to shadow more physicians that are certified bilingual providers, and also just like being in New York City, the opportunities are endless to practice my Spanish and also to have opportunity to interact with Spanish speaking people. So that was great. But now we have this dilemma. I'm like, okay, I was thinking family medicine because I worked at a family medicine clinic, love family medicine, think it's so cool, like you get to see everything. And then I was like, you know what? Internal medicine, because my school actually doesn't have a family medicine like residencies, like it's just like not that big here in the city. So I was like, you know what? Internal medicine primary care. Internal medicine primary care would just be like adults. But now I'm like, wow, like I actually really enjoyed my peds interaction today. So like maybe we want to get back to doing family medicine. But I feel like family medicine is kind of like it's very regional. I was talking to the physician about this, and so, you know, like if I was to say in like Manhattan, you know, like family medicine is just like not that big here. And so I'm like, do I want to be limited? And, you know, I'm like thinking now maybe sports medicine. So the good thing is I'm literally 2 months into my first year, so I have so much time to think about it. But you guys know me, like I went to Clemson, literally I'm like wearing a Clemson shirt every day. Loved football. Like I'm just like really interested in sports, and I feel like it'd be great to kind of like hit that adolescent age if I worked with like a team, or even like adults if I did like NFL. But then you also, I feel like sports medicine doctors, like you don't just work with like a collegiate team or an NFL team, but you also could like work with like high school teams. So you get like the best of like all the worlds, maybe. I don't know. I really need to look into it some more. So I guess that's next on my to-do list, is to figure out how to shadow a sports medicine doctor. But back to the shadowing, I really just wanted to also say like shadowing as a medical student, I feel like is so much different than shadowing as an undergraduate student or like as a pre-med, because, you know, I really think that the whole purpose of like getting clinical experience when you're applying to medical school is so you have hands-on experience like interacting with patients, because shadowing is normally very passive. And, you know, in medical school, it's still like passive because like I'm 2 months in, like I barely know anything, I feel like, even though I've like had so many exams and learned so much. But, you know, you're wearing your white coat, which just like feels like cool. But then also, you know, like we have our stethoscope, and so as the physician was doing the physical exam for the patient, you know, she was like, oh, like jump in, let's look at this, like listen to the heart, listen to the lungs. And so I love that they really try to like make sure you're involved. Like what I've heard is like when you're shadowing, you know, always take your stethoscope, because you never know when you'll have the opportunity to kind of like jump in and get involved with the exam, or just like allow them to show you different things. And so that was super exciting. So I will say, you know, med school is a struggle. It's hard. We're in infectious disease right now, which is like not fun. Like I'm just not enjoying learning about like all the different streptococci. But shadowing today was like amazing. I definitely want to make sure I'm prioritizing that more, just because for one, I'm not 100% sure what I want to do. I really want to make sure I'm exploring everything and taking advantage of all the opportunities available. But then I also just want to make sure that I'm being constantly reminded of my why medicine. And I think that, you know, it's so easy to get bogged up in all the details when I'm in my preclinical years, but really having opportunity to like get in, see interaction, shadow, and like really see the impact that like physicians make on patients' lives. Yeah, that was just awesome. So that's just a little bit about like my first shadowing experience, medical Spanish, everything else that's going on with my life. Yeah, so make sure, if you're not already, following me on Instagram, just see a little bit of what my day-to-day life looks like there. And if you have any other questions about shadowing in medical school, what medical school looks like, definitely drop those in the comments and I'll try to get to those. But thank you guys so much for watching.